Hey, what is up everyone? It's the guy here, and welcome to episode 6 of my hardcore TerraFirmaRescue Let's Play. In this episode, we're going to be building out this area back here, the industrial area, or the early smithing area, and just getting a little bit more of the progress, getting more into metallurgy, and walking through how I will be doing that. But first and foremost, gotta look at some progress I made off camera so that I'm not leaving you guys behind here. So what I did was I collected all of the plants except sugarcane, which I don't know if it'll keep growing, but it's not fully mature yet, so if I collect them now, it won't do much. So that's what I did here. This stuff is all collected, and of course they're all down here in the ice cellar that I built last episode here. So you can see there are shelves here. They have storage space that almost matches one of the TFC chests, except that each row has 7 items you can put in there. But here it'll store things, and this will keep the temperature very cool. Outside you can see the temperature is, what is that, like 30 something C. Here it's keeps it at 1, but the door is open, so it's warming up a little bit. But in here you notice that we have ice in here. So how did I make ice when it's so hot outside? Did I go mine it somewhere from a mountain or something? No, actually ice is relatively easy to make. If we search up ice real quick here and go to the one that's the cellar's add-on, which is probably near the back. Yep. You'll notice that the recipe is just saltpeter powder in fresh water, and you get 10 ice for every 100 millibuckets. So that's where it all came from. So if I take one of these, just seed it in here, seal it up, I'll get 10 ice. And that's where most of the fresh water went. I made a lot of ice, so all that water was being used up there. What else did I do since last episode? I also made a few of the other equipment here that you can see. Moved everything over, made a second coke oven, so now we have 2 of these going, which, believe me, will not be enough when we start making iron tools. The blast furnace and just the bloomery itself also takes up a lot of charcoal, so this will not be enough. We need 2 more, which we will be building this episode, but we have them here now. We also have this loom here, which is how we make cloth. Take all the string or jute, any kind of like string material, and weave it together. That's how you make cloth material, at least early on. And here I just moved the log over for the leather. Here we made a bathing pot. It's not for me to sit in here. It's for other things like wood to soak in creosote oil, which, remember, was a byproduct of the coke oven, which was why I wanted to set up the coke oven and not use the inefficient normal TFC way of making charcoal. So this is useful for making creosote oil, which I will show you why we will need that in a little bit. And I believe that's it, other than collecting some more resources, more wood and clay to make everything here, although I'll definitely need to collect more. That's pretty much all I did here, maybe just sorting around here. But let's get started with one of the things that I wanted to do, which was to make a bed. So if we look at bed in here, Minecraft bed is just planks, 3 planks of any kind, and wool or silk cloth. These planks, of course, pretty easy. We have sycamore here, so I'll just take these 3 and bam, we have that. But what about the silk cloth here? Well, if I click on this here, we need 24 string in the loom, but I don't have that much string. But you can actually make string from jute fiber. So here I have 24 jute fiber. It's a 1-to-1 conversion. So bam, we now have 24 string. So let me head over to the loom. And how we use the loom actually doesn't have a GUI. All you do is right click into the loom with the material you have or you want. So just keep right clicking and it'll show you here. But as soon as it fills up, then you can shift right click it and it'll start weaving for you. Now the progress bar is down there, so you can see it'll take a little bit. But that is how you use a loom. Right click to put material in and shift right click to put it out. Now be careful, I don't think you get the material back if you break it and it's not made and all that, so just be careful when you decide to use that loom. Alright, here we go. We have 3 pieces of silk cloth now. I made 2 off camera, so this is the last one here. All we do here is put that together, and bam, we now have a bed finally. So this will unfortunately not help save me in hardcore mode, but it will provide a way to just sleep through the night. Now, one thing about TFC and sleeping through the night is that it'll use up a lot of hunger and a lot of water. So I don't need to sleep through the night. Let me put this over here. I think this is a good place. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Just missing the glass window panes here, and I just put the lower tier anvils right here. But I won't be sleeping because I have other things to do, but if I do need to head out, then I will take the opportunity to sleep through the night and not get screwed over by the monsters. So that's what we have here. Now, actually, I needed to get some wood because what we're going to do now is make bellows. If we come over here to the quest, here, this is unlocked. This is one of the more crucial ones. How we make a bellow is we need treated planks, treated sticks, and leather. Do I have leather here? I believe I have it somewhere. Yep, I have 4 leather, enough to make 2 bellows, which I will be needing in my setup. But here, treated planks. How do we make that? Good question. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, there's the bath. So we put any kind of plank in there, and with that says olive oil, but if I go to back recipes, or actually probably faster this way, here we go. Creosote oil. One of those planks dipped into 100 liters gets us treated planks. So I'll bring some of those here and get some treated planks. Now for the sticks, it's just putting sticks in there, and it's 50 liters instead of 100. So that's how we'll make it. So I'll make those real quick, and we can craft the bellows, and I'll show you what they do and why they are important. Now, quickly before we start, just a note about how this process works. In order to make the treated planks, obviously we will need creosote. So how do we transport creosote? Well, let's take a look at this oven here. We got some creosote oil. If we take our normal or TFC wooden bucket and we place it here, you'll notice that it doesn't do anything. If you right click, it also doesn't do anything. So we can't use these. We have to use the wooden bucket, which is the Greg Tech type, excuse me, and that will allow you to get the creosote. So if we put it in the GUI here, it'll come out with a bucket that's filled with the creosote. And all we have to do is right click it into the bath, and there we go. Now you can also just simply right click the coke ovens, and bam, you will now have it here. And I don't know if I can dump it in. Nope. You can't dump them back in. So once we take them out, you better be able to use it. So there we have it here, and I can just simply dump more of this into this wooden bath here. So here, the bath is now filled up with 200 liters of creosote. So what I want to do is put these, whatever I want to soak, into the bath, and then just right click it to get it made, and right click it again once they're all made to take it out. So pretty simple. Right click, comes out, right click, and puts the whole stack in. Keep right clicking until it's made, and then it comes out. So there we go. We now have the treated planks and the treated sticks we need, almost. Let me make the rest of it, and we'll show you what the bellows do. All right, we have the bellows made. So what I wanted to do here is to put the bellows facing towards that forge. So whichever way you're facing, the bellow will face that way. If you right click it, you'll notice that it sort of blows, and that's how you heat up the forge here. So what I'll do here is just put in some more of this fuel and get it lit up so that we can start heating up this right here. Not sure how that switched places, but put the clay bowl in here and get this heat up. So now we can finally get this clay bowl heated up. You'll notice that from last episode, I tried to fire up this clay bowl, but it didn't reach a high enough temperature. So that's where the bellow comes in. Once this reaches the high enough temperature by itself, I'll start pumping the bellow, and it'll, I think, use up more fuel, but it will increase the temperature, which is important here. So if you want to smelt up certain things, you'll need to use that bellow. I have a second bellow, which I'll need for the blast furnace, but that's a little later, so I'll put that to the side, but we have it made for now. So once this heats up, we can do a little more. But after, the reason why we want this mixing bowl is because we will want to put together some fire clay. for our crucible and for other things like the blast furnace. But so if we look up fire clay here, the recipe here is we put in clay, TerraFirmaCraft clay, and some kaolinite and graphite powder. While this cooks up, I guess I can grab some of those and show you how that's made. It's pretty simple though. These are just put into the grindstone, or the churn here, and you crank that and you get the kaolinite powder. But we will need a good amount of that to make the necessary materials. So once this is starting to heat up and everything is complete, I will show you guys what the final products here work and how the clay bowl works. Alrighty, this ceramic bowl has been made, so let me just plop down right here. All we do now is I'm going to toss all these materials in here: the kaolinite, the graphite, and the clay powder. And similar to the bathing pot here, all we do is just right click it to convert each time, and now we have the fire clay that we need here. So what we want to do here, and actually I should probably pick this up for the quest real quick. There we go. Now, what we need this for are actually a few things here. So one is the crucible. Here, let's already detect that fire clay. But we need 2 crucibles. One to put on top of the forge so that we can melt things down, and one because we will need that for the blast furnace. I believe you could sort of be more efficient, but it's just prettier to have 2 of those around. So I'll be making 2 of these crucibles. So pretty simple recipe here. 1 and 2. So the other one will go onto the blast furnace whenever that happens, but I'll just plop this down here. And notice that this will sort of just take the heat of whatever the forge is. It'll just start heating up, and you put metals or ores in here, and it'll melt down, and it'll plop them in here. And whenever you want to take them out, you can. It'll show you what sort of alloy you have here. So that way you don't have to worry too much about pulling unknown metals out, which is what happens when the alloy mixture isn't any of the known mixtures here. So let me just check this off right here. And now we have that done. One thing I did want to make here is a pottery kiln. And we need fire bricks, which is why we also needed it here. Fire bricks we just make from fire brick clay, which is just 2 of these in here. But the reason why I wanted these was because this helps you, as the description says here, you can fire up to 8 clay products at a time. You don't need straw, and you only need 8 logs. So it's double the efficiency of logs, and you don't need straws at all. So it says it's optional, but I want to use this. So it'll make it a lot easier for future stuff here. But this requires quite a bit of fire clay, so I will need to collect more of kaolinite. But in the meantime here, we'll plop this back down, and I'll probably collect more resources since what I want to do next involves quite a bit more resources. Making the 2 other coke ovens for one, and also making the bloomery, which, remember, if I go over to the here, right, bloomery here, it requires, usually it would actually be quite a bit more. The TFC, I believe the normal TFC recipes are a bit more, but here the GregTech recipes are a little better resource wise, but here each of these will require 1 ingot, so that's 400 units total. Here are double sheets, which means 400 per, so in total that'll be 1200 bronze. So I will need to gather that much bronze at least, and I will probably be using black bronze since that's the most copper efficient, and I know where to find a good amount of gold, and I have a good amount of silver. So that's what I will be looking for. But until I gather more resources, that's what we'll have to do. And a note here, again, this I can't put, Bellow I can't put in these chests because it is a huge item. So that's unfortunate. But we can make normal Minecraft chests. We go to the storage and logistics quest here. It shows you how to make Minecraft chests, which you just bathe TFC chests in creosote oil. So I want to make all 32 before I place anything down, which means I'll need to make a lot of chests here. I probably can just mine out a few of these I'm not using, but I do want to be a little completionist, complete the quests before I place them down. Anyways, I'll go collect resources, and I'll see you once I get them collected. First point of progress made. We now have the Pottery Kiln. So what we do here is take this Pottery Kiln, place it down, then we place the chamber on top, and boom. Now you can open the bottom to put in logs. It's actually just 4 logs. So actually it was a lot more efficient than I thought it would be, because normally you would need 8 logs, 8 straw, and you can fire up 4. You can fire up 4 of the pottery clay, but now you can just put in 4 logs, I believe. Let me check real quick. I believe it's 1 per each slot, although I might be wrong and misremembering. Yep, only 4 logs. So 4 logs now smelt up or cook up 8 clay things. So that makes it quadruple the efficiency. And you don't need straw. So this is definitely a big upgrade. So now I can work on, firing up bricks for other recipes or fire clay. So that is a big plus. But got a little more collecting resources to do. So I will get back to you guys once I have those ready. Alright, I got all 32 chests, Minecraft chests made. That was quite a bit of creosote. I ate most of the creosote from the ovens, but that's also a good thing because that frees up the oven to make up more of charcoal. And if it fills up, then I don't have any place to put it, so I don't want to really waste it, which means I can't use them anymore. So that gives them a longer lifespan for making charcoal. But now let's look at these chests and how they differ from the TFC chests. If you look here, of course, normal Minecraft chest, there are 3 rows instead of 2, so more space, which is always good. But you could also notice that I can now put in huge items. So I can basically put in any item I want. And in fact, one thing that's quite useful, probably a bug, but if you have something that has some sort of heat level, usually referring to anything that's metal and has been worked, if you put that in a chest, it'll actually keep that heat level. So if you don't want it to cool down right away, then just stick it in a normal chest and it will stay at that heat level. So that's just a really cheap way, kind of a cheeky way to keep the heat level, but I'm going to be using it. So that is, if you're playing along, that's something to be aware of. Now I'm going to swap out most of these chests here for these normal chests, and I will keep continuing to collect. Alright, a quick little update. I've gathered most of the resources that I need. Here are the metals that I need for the bloomery, and here are some that I need just for some tools. But while I'm at it, I'll show you how to use this crucible. So this crucible is currently heating up, and I've already put in some tin to melt it down. There's 30 units in here. What you can do now is you can just simply toss the metals in here. So let's say I toss this poor tetrahedrite in. It's hot enough here, so it's going to melt pretty soon. But notice that when it melts, it drops the heat. So basically, anytime you're melting things down, it'll draw on the heat a little bit. And when you're pulling things out, it'll also draw on the heat. But that heat is going to be what keeps everything molten and able to be poured out into a mold or an ingot, ingot mold or any kind of other mold here. Right, so that's basically how you use it, and currently it's an unknown alloy, it says up here, because this ratio is unknown. This is not a ratio that provides a valid metal, so don't want to be pouring out when it's not ready yet, otherwise you'll be completely wasting your metals here. So wait until everything's melted out and make sure you've melted it in the right proportions. Now what you can do is you can put things into this. It's called an alloy calculator, and this is just a side quest that you can do with if you have any kind of gem that's sort of there, and just make it like this really quick. This can help you calculate it before you toss it in here and be a little more forgiving, but it's not necessary, and it's also it doesn't fit too much stuff. So well, if you do it enough, you'll probably memorize it at some point. So it's not that crucial there. Now I seem to have forgotten that I can't pour it into these molds. So correction there. You cannot pour it into these shaped molds. You can only pour them into these ceramic molds for ingots, which is a little unfortunate. Oh boy, and now it's raining. I don't know if I can do anything here, if I can pour it in here. Yes I can. So you can just take it and pour it in here afterwards. But the reason why I wanted to make a sword out of this mold, not from the forge, and usually you want to make it from the forge, is because, or with the anvils, because you get a smithing bonus depending on your skill level here. So as your smithing skills increase, you'll be able to make better materials, but better weapons, better equipment. But with something like a sword, if you look up what the sword recipe is, right, with TerraFirmaCraft, these blades, they actually take a double ingot, but if you put them in a cast, it only takes 100 units. So it's a little cheeky way to avoid using material. So that's something that I will take advantage of, and I think it's a pretty good way to use your resources. So I'm just going to make a sword mold here, and if I want a better sword later on, I can make it later on. But that's why I'm making a sword here. So I'm going to melt everything down, make that bloomery, and then once everything is set up, I'll start building out this area here. Alright, so don't be stupid like me and not look at the recipes and what specific type of metals you're looking at, because if we take a look at the recipe here, I thought that all bronze would have worked, but actually there's only 2 types of bronze here out of the 3 that actually work. The normal bronze and the bismuth bronze, not the not the bronze here that I made, which is very unfortunate because it's a bit of a waste of resources, but oh well, lesson learned there. It looks like I won't be making a bloomery this episode, but what I will do is I will get started with building out the rest of this area to make it look a little nicer here. Mainly building out the rest of the coke ovens and the place where the bloomery would go, as well as maybe some of the walls around this area. And the outside over here, the patio area, that's why I had dug this out. So make this area a little less ugly and build a path out from here to this area. So looks like I won't be doing that this episode, won't be making the actual bloomery and getting in the iron. So that'll be next episode, once I probably need to gather a lot more tin, because that's probably what I need. I haven't found any zinc whatsoever, so I will need to go with that. But don't be dumb. Look at your recipes before you start crafting them. I hope you enjoyed that build session. Took quite a bit of time, but we managed to do a lot of stuff. So let me show you what I got built. So over here, I've just built out, extended the roof a little bit to make this area for where I will store logs, sort of like a dry area, and I've made some fences to make it look kind of like it's being supported somewhat, and I extended the cobblestone path around the area here so that it looks like it's a bit more connected, and added some walls so I don't just fall off on this end here. Makes it feel like a little more secure. Built out this patio area, which I might roof over depending on what future machines are, but this will most likely be for things that'll need to be outdoors. So things like the Railcraft water tank, that'll definitely be something that I will have out there so I can collect fresh water instead of going and gathering it from there or something like that. So it's a bit more automated. Here you see I've built out the walls here. I don't have glass yet, so that'll probably be next episode, getting glass made. Here we have that as well all the way around here, and you can see that I've got this the coke oven towers here. Currently I don't have anything in there, but once they start running, they should be just barely enough to keep maybe one blast furnace going at all times, or maybe all the bloomery going at all times. But once both of them are going at the same time, even 4, we'll start depleting into the charcoal reserves. But here we have this much charcoal in here, and when you get charcoal from the blast furnace, they are the Minecraft charcoal here. Notice this is Minecraft. A lot of these are just Minecraft since I haven't converted them over. You just put them in your crafting inventory. It's a 1-for-1 conversion, but you can't do the same thing as the TerraFirmaRescue one. So you'll need to convert them over before you can toss them in and get things started. But this is just in preparation for the blast furnace, getting some of that infrastructure set up. Here is just some of the decoration here. Now, these blocks are not necessary at all whatsoever for the bloomery. The bloomery, once I start building that, I'll show you which ones are necessary and probably just show you the wiki. But this is just to make everything look cool and look like part of this industrial tower here. And of course, I started building up this top area, but chiseling this is going to be a nightmare. I'll have to go up from the sides with scaffolds or something. But this is what I have so far. It doesn't look too bad for being in a survival world. I will need to figure out a lighting situation since I don't have any pumpkins left, and I don't know what permanent lighting I will be able to have. But that'll be it for this episode. Oh, there's a skeleton over here. Wait. Yeah, there we go. Optifine. Okay. Well, that'll be it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you felt that this was something that you think you'd like to watch, then please consider giving it a like. And if you think that I'm doing a good job, consider subscribing. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care, stay humble, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.